Hey there, my name is Katerina. I put my corporate career on hold and joined an art academy at 30, beginning from absolute zero. Here, I share my artistic journey, the real challenges, breakthroughs, and lessons I learned along the way. Welcome to my channel. Guys, it's March, so welcome to my March art vlog. In this vlog, I will show you how my art month goes with my personal objectives, how everything goes. I mean, it's weird recording now because it's the 3rd of March and now I have no clue what's gonna happen, but I can tell you a little bit my objectives for this month. So if you followed my previous vlogs, you will know that I set myself some objectives for the year. And among this, there is to develop some works in paintings that I will use as a portfolio for the future. And I set myself 6 works as objective. However, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do it right now because you might have seen in my February vlog that I have been lagging a bit behind on my schedule, but that's also because it's the first time I'm developing proper works from the beginning till the end. And that's why I am learning a lot of stuff. I realized that the deadlines I set for myself were too ambitious. So right now I'm kind of trying to recalibrate the deadlines that I set. I mean, it's still gonna be June, but I will see how many works I will manage to develop because I still don't want to skip any steps because I'm still learning and I really want to follow all the steps that we are learning at the academy. Some of the steps will seem a little bit unnecessary because I'm really doing, the whole process as the old masters used to do. So from a good preparatory drawing to the transfer that I'm doing currently, I'm also preparing the canvas myself. I'm doing the grisaille. I'm doing a passage of lead white. I'm starting with color and layering colors and so on. So I'm doing all these long steps, which takes a long time for a work of art to be developed. I'm not painting alla prima, and obviously if I painted alla prima, it could be done with a piece of work probably in like 1 week, even less, like 1 day. But I'm very willing to follow the whole method and keep learning from it. In February, I finished my preparatory drawing for one of the projects for my double self-portrait, and I'm almost done with the preparatory drawing of my still life. So by the end of March, I envision finishing at least the grisaille step. So the grisaille step is the monochromatic first step that you put on a painting before starting with colors. So I really hope that I will start with colors by March, but honestly, right now, I'm just trying to be a little bit more conservative with my objectives, knowing that 2 of the weeks at the academy, there's going to be the model. And what I decided is that every time there's going to be the model, I am just going to draw and paint the model. So my time is going to be way more concentrated on that rather than on my personal project. I think that's still very important for me. It's very important to draw from life, especially when, like me, you're at the beginning of your artistic journey. And I still feel that I'm learning a lot every time I draw from life. I draw long poses and so on. So I am still quite excited about the whole month, even though, as I said, I was a bit behind on my timelines. I'm really excited to redraw and repaint the grisaille of the model because, as you might remember, in February it didn't go so well because I haven't painted for 2 months and it was like I forgot everything. It's crazy. It's not like going on a bike that you just, remember. I literally forgot everything. I know that it's gonna take me very little time to get all my knowledge back, but it was very useful trying a grisaille on that model before trying it on my personal projects. So the objective of March is to make a good grisaille of the model and obviously to make an even better one on my 2 personal projects. So yeah, that's it. I will take you with me throughout my March. The frame for my canvas didn't arrive yet, so the teacher helped me stretching my canvas on a wooden board where I would start painting my work. So we stretched the canvas, we did the first sanding, we put the sanding paper on a flat surface, let's say. Now we did the first sanding and now I'm gonna put acrylic gesso a couple of layers maybe, because I don't want to see all this grain. Oh my god, my finger is crazy. Diluting the gesso with water is 3 parts gesso, 1 part water. Here the teacher showed me how to properly spread the gesso on the canvas without leaving any type of trace and leaving it as smooth as possible. We put 3 layers of gesso that I smoothed out with sanding paper throughout the layers. I just got back home and today it was a very special and emotionally intense day, I would say, because today I had the review of all my work since the beginning of the academy with the artistic director. It was amazing because I laid down all my drawings and most of my paintings on the floor or on the tables, and I put them in chronological order. You could definitely see all the progress. So that was very intense because it allowed me to live again all the experience I've done so far. And obviously it's just been a year, but it's been such an intense year, so it allowed me to think about that as well. And also I literally remember every emotion I was living when I was drawing or painting the pieces that I was looking at. So every drawing, every painting reminded me of something. It gave me that, little emotion I had in that moment, and it was like being back at that time, at that day, at that week again. And this was something special. I never realized how much a single art piece could bring us back in time, There was like time traveling. It was very, very interesting. It was nice to discuss the progress that I made with my art director. It was interesting to see where I got and what I still need to improve. The fact that after 1 year, I'm working right now on my personal project, and obviously I'm still learning a lot. I'm still drawing from life, the models, as you know, but it was very intense and I really loved doing that. It was something very amazing. It is Thursday and I'm doing the transfer of the painting, so I put some pigment behind and I'm transferring. With all the volumes, I'm really trying to do a very careful transfer. And here is the transfer. As you can see, it's a more detailed transfer compared to the ones you're probably used to see normally, and that's because the teacher encourages us to put down all the hatching in the shadows to have a more detailed map of what we're going to paint, so it's going to be easier to paint it in a later stage. It is Sunday the 8th of March and today's objective is to finish these lemons and to start painting them today. Let's see if I manage. Guys, it's 9 p.m. and I'm finally done with lemons. I'm so happy. With this, I can declare the week officially over and officially positive. The week was actually very positive. It was just a bit slow. I know I keep saying this, but it's just very difficult to set timings and deadlines when you've never tried to do something. For sure, the first time you learn something, you're way slower than you would normally be when you're in a more advanced stage. So I calculated some timings that at the end didn't correspond to what actually was the reality. So by this week, I hope to have already put down some paint on my double portrait, which wasn't the case, but I finally learned how to prepare a canvas with the gesso, how to sand it properly, the different type of grains of the sandpaper. I traced it in a very detailed way, very, very detailed way. So that took me quite a long time. I finished the lemons. So, I wouldn't say it was a bad week, but I think from now on, it's just gonna be painting. I cannot wait for that, and I'm super ready for a new week to start. It is Monday the 9th of March, new week. Today I'm finally starting tracing the lemons, and what I'm envisioning for this week and from now on for the rest of the month is just painting every day, apart from obviously when we'll have the model at the academy when I'm gonna draw, but the rest of the time I'm just gonna be painting. In the morning the lemons, in the afternoon my double portrait, so first the grisaille and then the color. I don't know if I'm gonna get to the color by the end of this month, but I'm super excited that from now on I can just paint and that's it. So relieved. And here we are with the transfer. And here we are with the grisaille of my double portrait. Here I started retracing all the lines with paint to avoid losing the drawing once I'm painting. Wednesday, the 11th of March, and I started the grisaille on the lemons. Slowly, it's gonna come out. Just coming back home now after having been to the exhibition of an old teacher of the academy. He was there last year. It was so nice to see him, to see everyone back, so to meet all the people like I used to know. So it was a very interesting night. Had lots of fun and yeah, it was a nice night. I am at the train station to go to Bergamo because this morning we are going there with some friends from the academy to watch an exhibition on tarots, because as you know, in my project there's going to be a tarot inside and I just want some inspiration and to know a little bit more about that. Back from the exhibition, it was one I really loved. There were so many different decks, from the very first one from the 1300s, I think, until the most recent ones, so 2010, 2020. And I would say I learned a few new things about tarots that I didn't know, but I wouldn't say that I found inspiration for the composition of my fool, because yes, the fool is gonna be the card that I'm gonna put in my painting. But it's okay, because I already had some ideas about that and it was still very interesting. You know, one thing that inspired me is that there were some books and I started flipping through Leonora Carrington's book and I went on the page of the Fool and I really loved the description that she left. Listen to this one. The Fool signified freedom and the seeker, one who teaches us that we don't know the destination until we arrive there. I mean, that's exactly why I decided to put the Fool in my painting, so I was really inspired by that, or at least it reminded reminded me why I was doing that. And talking about my painting, I'm really happy about how the week went, how the progress went, because I managed to progress both with the grisaille of the double portrait and with the grisaille of the lemons. And that makes me hopeful to manage to respect the deadline that I set for myself, which is finishing the grisailles by this month. I really hope that's gonna be the case. So I'm really happy about how the week went, also because there were a few social events that I showed you. So yeah, it was a very happy week. It is Monday, the 16th of March, new day, new week. And today it's the first week with the model and first day with the model as well that I'm gonna draw. I think in graphite, because I was considering whether to draw in pencil or, in charcoal or in graphite, but I think it's gonna be still in graphite. Not super ready to get out of my comfort zone. I think I'm getting out of my comfort zone by painting every day, my portrait, my double portrait, because I'm still not super confident. So let's see. So yeah, I'm quite excited. It's super sunny in Milan, so every time it's sunny, I'm in a very, very good mood. So let's see how this drawing goes. And I think I will paint the grisaille as well on the model.
Ciao tu cagnolino. Ciao tu cagnolino.
And here we are with the drawing. I think I made his eyes too large compared to the nose and compared to the mouth. But overall, it kind of works. Like, it's a 3 sessions drawing. It's okay, no? I'm still at home in my pajamas, but today is Thursday, the 19th of March, and I already finished the drawing I was meant to do at the Academy of the model. It was just a portrait. I mean, I could still work on it, but I think that most of the things are done, and I'm really curious these days to retry to paint a little bit alla prima. So this morning I prepared the canvas, I did the transfer, and today I'm gonna paint it alla prima. I just want to have fun. I don't want like a perfect result. I don't want like a masterpiece to come out of it. So I just want to experiment a little bit, and I'm looking forward to it. It's quite exciting. Painting of the day. So this was an alla prima painting. As I said, I just wanted to have fun, so my goal was fulfilled. I'm really happy about that. The result is not super great, but I would say that compared to the last alla prima things that I did, it's okay. It is Friday, the week is over. I say the week is over because I know that I won't do anything art productive this weekend, but I think it's been a very good week. I don't know if I ever said it wasn't a good week, but just because I know that I love the things that I do during the week and so on. I learn a lot, I keep learning a lot. And this week I had the chance to draw the model and also to experiment a little bit with alla prima painting, which wasn't even an alla prima because I transferred the drawing, but it was more direct free painting compared to the many layers I'm doing with my personal projects. So I felt like I needed that moment to, just free and do whatever I felt in that moment, even though the result wasn't perfect, but it wasn't about the result, it was just about feeling this freedom. And also, the big achievement is that I finished the first layer of the grisaille in my personal project. And that is definitely a milestone because, other milestones I have right now before finishing it is finish the second layer, which I will do next week, and also putting the layers of color. So I start seeing the progress, I start seeing the advancing of the painting, and I'm really happy about that. I think I will be able to respect the deadline of finishing the grisaille by this month, my review deadline, let's say. Let's see, but I would say everything positive, everything is proceeding. I am working a lot, apart from the lemons, because the lemons are still at the same stage as I left them, honestly, because in the mornings I didn't have the time because I was working on the video that you've probably already seen by now. Next week there's going to be a different model. Let's see how it goes. It is Monday the 23rd of March and a new week is starting. I'm already here at school and I'm waiting for the class to start. Today there's going to be a new model because the model we had last week couldn't stay for the 2 weeks. So today we are changing model and that's why I'm going to do another drawing today. I'm just going to draw this week the model and then in the break I'm going to keep painting my double portrait. I'm going to start a second layer of grisaille. I'm so happy. I'm so excited about that. I really hope I can finish it by this month, as I said. I don't know if it's going to be possible because it took me 2 weeks at the end of the day to do the first layer, but maybe the second layer is going to go quicker. So let's see. It is the first time that I'm doing the whole process from beginning until the end. So it's going to be a nice discovery. Let's see. I started the second layer of the grisaille and look, the second layer is basically this. I'm working here and I'm working with gloves because this is done with lead white. So lead white is really toxic, but that's how it looks. So basically the second layer is, not necessary in all cases, but since at the academy they are advising to do it, I'm trying to do it. And this helps to push down the contrast of the first layer of grisaille and create more range of values, basically. So to be able to give more, roundness to the things and more value range, basically. So that the color stage is going to be the easiest one. Here is the progress of the day. Now that I'm filming, I'm noticing this weird lemon here. I need to adjust that for sure when I'm gonna paint the next session. Guys, I think I'm pretty done with the grisaille of the lemons. I'm not gonna do the second layer of the grisaille as I did in the other portrait, but I'm debating whether to add the background in grisaille, but I'm so scared to ruin it. I'm so scared that, I don't know, it's gonna be very confusing with the background. I still think that I will gonna add it. I'm filming it just to record how it was before I added the background before ruining it. I really hope it won't be the case, but you know, for the record, this is how it was before the background. Guys, it's incredible. I finished the grisaille of the lemons, finally! I'm so happy because I managed to respect the deadlines that I set to myself. I managed to finish the grisaille of the lemons by March. And also I have 2 more days, so Monday and Thursday, the 30th and the 31st, to finish the second layer of the grisaille of my double portrait. So let's see if I'm gonna be able to, but I think I will. On this one, I didn't do 2 layers of grisaille as I did with the double portrait because I want to try 2 different ways of painting in the 2 paintings. So I want to see which technique is closer to what I feel it's my technique or something that works better for me, because I think that 2 layers might be a bit of a waste of time in a sort of sense. However, I'm understanding why they're useful. So I want to see the real difference there is between one and another, and I want to see if the time that I'm spending on doing the second layer over there, it's really worth it. So let's see if I'm gonna be convinced about that or not. Okay, I finally received the wooden frame, and as you can see, they have these, you know, these parts that are higher here, and that's so that the canvas doesn't touch the wood here. So now that the grisaille is dry, I'm gonna mount it on here, and then between today and tomorrow, I'm gonna finish the second layer of the grisaille. Guys, it's the 31st of March, and guess what? I finished the second layer of the grisaille on my double portrait. I'm so happy! I'm super happy because I managed to respect the deadline, and also because I can finally start with color. Oh my god, okay, I need to wait for a couple of days for it to dry, but I'm really excited. It means that I'm closer to the finish line. I'm finally seeing the light at the end of this experience, you know? I mean, I'm still enjoying it a lot. I'm still loving everything that I'm learning, and every day I'm still learning a lot from it, like from every brush stroke, like how to handle paint, how to handle medium, and so on. And I'm really happy about that. Today the month finishes. It's actually Tuesday, so today it's gonna be the recap of the week and the recap of the month as well. And talking about the past week, I really enjoyed it because I managed to do a drawing of the model where I can really see the progress that I'm making, because almost at every drawing I'm seeing a step further in my path, and this time I really wanted to focus on edges, on softening the lines, and so on. And I think I really managed to do that. I think I have quite clear in mind the things that I need to improve for the next time, to keep softening the transitions and to keep doing the job that I'm doing with the edges, go in that direction in any case. So I'm really excited for the next model. So on that side it really went well, but also I managed to finish the grisaille of the lemons. So all my grisailles right now are over. I told you it would have been a month of grisailles, so I'm proceeding in a slightly different way on the 2 paintings. I'm curious to see how the result is gonna differ and if I'm gonna discover something interesting about the 2 different ways I'm going on with. Apart from that, I would say very positive week. I'm very satisfied with the job that I'm doing, and I'm also very satisfied with the month. It's been a great month. I worked a lot. I've been really productive painting wise, mostly on my double portrait, I would say, on which I worked every day when I was at the academy. But But also it's been a great month with the models. It's been a great month full of exhibitions, of inspiration. So what more can I desire? So now my goals for April, because my next vlog is gonna be my April vlog. I hope to see you there. But these are the goals that I'm setting for myself. So first of all, by April, I want to finish both the paintings that I'm working on. So my double portrait and my still life. I think it's an achievable goal. I think I have all the time that it requires me to do this. So fingers crossed for me. But before even talking about finishing double portrait, I obviously need to work on the tarot sketch, because as you know, in the double portrait, I'm holding a card of tarots, which is the Fool. That I want to paint it myself in a separate painting and put that painting inside the double portrait painting. And to do that, I obviously need to sketch it down first, do all these things. So I think even the first goal is to do that, so to be able to finish the double portrait, right? And thirdly, this month we're gonna have the model for 3 weeks for the first time. So we used to have the model for 2 weeks, and this month was a bit weird because we only had the model for 1 week and a different model for another week. But next month we're gonna have the same model for 3 weeks, which will allow me to draw her and paint her from the beginning till the end from life, which is something that I've never done because the works that I finished of the model were through picture, for example. So right now I'm really excited to paint colors from real life. I will dedicate 1 week for the drawing, 1 week for the grisaille, and 1 week for the color. I think it should be sufficient to work on that at the academy. I want to do that on canvas, so actually that makes me think I need to buy a little canvas to do that. It's not going to be a huge format, but I really want to put a nice effort on it. I want it to be a nice academic painting. So yeah, these are my goals for April. I hope to see you in my next vlog. If you enjoyed this vlog, please subscribe to my channel if you're not subscribed yet. Leave a comment and leave a like, and I will see you in my April vlog or in any other videos. Bye!